So I am Daniel Niyamatete, a medical doctor by profession, and this morning I'm presenting to you our very first talk, which is the purpose of youth. The purpose of youth. I don't know exactly what you're expecting with this particular talk, but I'm sure that by the end of the talk you have picked up a lot of things. And the purpose of this particular talk is to actually orient us, because I'm sure that all of us here are youth. So, introduction. First and foremost, we are talking about the purpose of youth. So you have to understand what's the meaning of purpose. The dictionary definition of purpose is the reason for which something exists. So if there's something that is there, for instance, this laptop I'm using here, it has a purpose, right? We all know the purpose of a laptop. So as soon as you see it, you know that this is what it's used for. So in the same way, we are going to look at the purpose of youth. When we are born, all of us, nobody is born a youth. We are born from childhood, right? And in the childhood stage, we are developing physically. We are now learning about the world. But we reach a particular age that we are now fully developed, but we are young. Actually, that's the stage that we call youth. So usually when somebody is around 15 years, there are different school of thoughts. Usually some people will tell you that youth is from 13. Others will tell you it's from 16. Others will tell you when you are 18 and above, then you can consider yourself as a youth. But the whole idea is about you've passed childhood, or you are no more in your developmental stage. You are now a fully grown man or woman, but you are young. You are now growing up. So that's the idea behind youth, or the stage that we call the youthful stage. What is youth? It's a condition of being young, like I said earlier on. Why is it that youth or the youthful stage is very important? Because we were born as children. Maybe when you were born, you were a baby, you couldn't birth for yourself, you couldn't take care of yourself. But as time went on, you were growing. You were growing in stature, you were growing in functionality, and you were growing in strength. But what I want us to understand that our growth is not coincidental. Our growth is very purposeful. When you were a child, there are a lot of changes that have taken place on your body between your childhood and the time that you qualified to become a youth. What are those changes? Some of them are mental or psychological changes. You start to understand the world. You started developing a very strong a strong will and direction and a vision. You are now developing a sense of purpose on what you like to do in this life. But apart from that, there are also physical changes that happen with us, right? Physically we change. Young men start changing physically. Young women also change physically. Young women develop breasts. They start growing pubic hair and all that. They are physical changes. But nature has a task when it comes to youth. So it's just like anything. When you endow something or someone with a particular potential, then you're expecting something out of it. For instance, you've built a cold store. You've put freezers in the cold store, right? What you're expecting is that the freezers are going to preserve your chicken. That's why you're putting them there. So the same way to your development, be it physical, socially, that's what nature has given you as you are growing. You didn't go to a supermarket to say that, okay, now I want to get breasts. Oh, now I want my testes to become larger. You didn't go there. You didn't go and demand it or buy it. No, it just started happening to you, which means that you are being given something, but it's not for nothing. It's for a purpose. You understand? So what I'm saying here is that when you were young, you were a baby, you didn't have breasts. Why? Because you didn't need it. But as soon as nature or life, as it progresses, starts giving you breasts, it means that you're going to use a breast to do something. That's a purpose. What do you use a breast for? The main purpose of the breast is for what? For feeding the young. So this is just even when you look at the physical aspect of it, that's how nature is already giving us. Nature has a task of giving us something. But when nature gives you something, it's one of the most ruthless personalities ever. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. it doesn't give anything for free. When it gives you something, make sure that you work with it and you give it returns. You work with what it has given you and you give it returns. For instance, if I give you, if your boss gives you work to do and he gives you monthly salary, he's expecting that something should. If you're at the end of the month, the work is not going on well, he can fire you. But unfortunately for us, when nature gives you work to do, it also is making sure that it's going to get its returns. And what is its returns? I want us to understand this particular aspect very well before we move on. What's the returns that nature is going to get from us? It's going to make sure that you didn't come into the world magically, did you? You came from somewhere. Your mother met your father somewhere. And you did something before you were born. So it has a task of making sure that there are always human beings on this earth. So when nature is giving you breasts and is giving you all those things, it has a purpose. Of course, you are going to enjoy something from it. So your sexuality or your being as a person on earth it comes with pains and pleasures and all that. It's going to be an enjoyable process, but it comes at a price. It's going to make sure that the next generation is going to come on. Otherwise, it has failed in its purpose. Its purpose is to make sure that all of us one day will pass. None of us is going to live forever. We are mortals. So because we are mortals, there has to be a next generation. You understand what I'm saying? And for the next generation to come in, fortunately or unfortunately, you as a person, you have a will. You can choose what you want to do. You can choose to get married, you can choose not to get married. You can choose to have sex now, you can choose not to have sex now. But if you choose not to have sex, that means, and everybody chooses not to have sex, nature has failed. I don't think that means that there will not be any continuity. That means it's past. That means what it gave you, you wasted it. You understand what I'm saying? What it gave you, wasted it. So because of that, nature is very, very forceful. That's why your sex drive or your sexuality is very forceful. And that's why a lot of youth find it very, it's like it's a drive. That's why it's called a drive. Full speed though. It makes sure that what it wants you to do, it will make you do it. And that's when it comes to the issue of sexuality, especially for youth. When you were very young, you were a child, you were not developing. So you were not having any sexual urges. You were not thinking in that direction and all that. When you were very, very young. But as soon as you reach a particular stage, that nature started endowing you with those qualities. It's now started demanding. You realize that your view, the way your vision now changed, your purpose and your views on life just changed. Something you started having sexual thoughts and feelings, and it moves you to do very stupid things sometimes. And it's a very pressing thing. It wants to make sure that it doesn't waste the resource it has given you. Then one day you'll not be 25 forever. You're going to be 40, 50, 60. You realize that things will start changing again. When you were a youth, maybe between the ages of 15 years to around 45 years there, when your sexual issue, it will change. And that's why the things that nature has given you as a young woman or a young man, a time will come that will start wearing off. Your sexuality or your attractiveness will start going off. Then you reach a particular stage that nature just pushes you, I don't need you anymore. You are not ideal anymore for the purpose which I want to meet. So basically what I'm saying is that life is in stages. We have the childhood stage, we have the youthful stage when you are a young man or a young woman, which is a very active stage. It's a stage that actually activity is very much expected. If you waste that stage, by the time you reach a particular stage, you will not be interested. It's not that you will not be active anymore, you will not be interested even in being active. As of now, you see how you are moving up and down when you're excited, party, this, that. A time will come, you can ask daddy behind, you'll not be interested in those things anymore. Because that drive will start dying down. Your focus is on other things. So that means each and every stage of life has a purpose. It has something that it expects you to do. So as youth, we have time, we have energy, and we have material. But life is very funny. It's like that when you are very, very young, a child, during your childhood stage, you have so much time for yourself. But you don't have any resources or material. When you become a youth now, your time level will now start going down because you are more busy and all that. You are very busy. You have a lot of energy, but you are now developing material. Then you grow to your old age and you see that things turn the other way around. Once again, you have so much time, but you don't have energy and you have resources. There's a way to maneuver around all this so that whichever state you find ourselves, There's no stage in life which is better than another stage. Sometimes you might look back at your childhood and feel as if you say, oh, you were young then, it wasn't so important. But no stage in life is not important. Each and every stage of life is important. It has its own glory and honor. The purpose of this particular meeting, of this particular topic, is for us to understand that in life there are two schools. You can choose to come to life without any form of understanding and leave it as the day comes and make all your mistakes, right? That means each and every day you just wake up in the morning, make all your mistakes, and so unfortunately some mistakes are there, they are difficult to correct, others are there, you can never actually come out of it. It will be a mark on you, an indelible mark on you forever, for the rest of your life. So you either live by these two schools. We have a school of experience where you mess up, you continue messing up, you go and do something, you are a youth, get teenage pregnancy, give birth to a child at a very young age, struggle, because of that you're unable to go to school and all that. It's a school of experience. Otherwise, you see, then based on that, you learn a very bitter lesson. Or you can learn from example where somebody will sit you down, either your parents and talk to you that my son, my daughter, this and this and this is what happens. Be careful of this and that. Or even from observation, it's also from examples. Somebody's life, you realize that you had an older sister who messed up this particular way, and because of that they were unable to finish their schooling, or now because of that they are unable to get married, or because of that they are now lost. Their life has become so difficult. You've learned from example. It said that the school of example, if it has a badge, its colors are red and green. Red is stop and green means go. So what it teaches you is that it tells you don't do this, but do this. So we are always giving instructions. But unfortunately, the youth doesn't like the school of example. We feel as if you are being imposed upon. You feel as if somebody is too much and don't want you to enjoy your life. You want to experience life. But the school of experience, its colors are very, very bitter lessons, black, where you see the consequences of your own actions, and it can be a very, very painful consequence of an action. What we as youth lack is understanding. We don't understand the dynamics of life. We don't understand why do you have to do this? So sometimes when you are being spoken to concerning certain things, we feel as if you are being imposed upon. Why do you want to worry me like that? Let me live my life. What do you mean by that? Like, you don't want, because you don't understand the dynamics of life. And unfortunately, the time that you have to understand the dynamics of life, like we saw in the book of Proverbs, like I began with during the introduction stage, that insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. So knowledge and discernment in the book of Proverbs is a book of wisdom. Usually we try to attribute wisdom to the old people, right? We expect that maybe, I'm not old. You are waiting for the people to be 60 years and 80 years there before. But as at then, it might have been too late, because you've already learned all your lessons. You don't have the strength, you don't have the vigor, you don't have the will to be able to make something out of your life. That's why it's very, very important that as youth, we are supposed to understand the dynamics of this life, the principles of this life, what we are supposed to do and what we're supposed to do. So that even as we are young now, we can take advantage of our youth and achieve something in this life. But unfortunately, it goes the other way around. You make all your mistakes when you are youth, in your 20s, in your 30s. By the time you are in your 40s, it's now that you've learned your lessons. But then you've already passed the stage that your mind is sharp, that you can actually go to school and learn, or you can actually make something out of your life. The time is already passed. But you see, with this life, no matter the experiences you are passing through, they are there to build us. Some of the experiences are there, they might be very painful, they might be very bitter, they might be very uncomfortable, but they actually strengthen us and they form a basis for the rest of our life coming up. But the thing is that some experiences are there, they were not necessary for you to even pass through them. You could have easily avoided them, and they were not supposed to actually be experiences in your life. they can shatter your whole life, and you would have missed a very big opportunity that otherwise you could have gotten. You could have. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 to 6. I'm reading from the Message Bible, and the title of that particular passage, A Manual for Living. These are the wise sayings of Solomon. These are the wise sayings of Solomon, David's son, Israel's king. What's the purpose of this message? Written down so we'll know how to live well and right. So Solomon's focus for the book of Proverbs is a book to know, to gain knowledge on the way to live well and to live the right way. To understand what life means and where it is going. A manual for living. Don't you think it's very wonderful if you have a manual for living? A manual that you can look on, just like when you buy your TV or your laptop, that you can also, if you are confused somewhere, you just pick the manual and look through it. Oh, this one is a function of this and that. But unfortunately, most of us have lived 20 years of our life, 30 years of our life. And if I should ask you now, do you really have a code for living? Because every workplace, be it in the health sector, education sector, there's a code, right? There's a manual. Don't you think it's very, very, very unfortunate that you can live 70 years of your life and you don't have any manual? If you cannot really pinpoint any particular system or standard by which you are living. Solomon is saying this is a manual for living, for learning what's right and just and fair. He says to teach the inexperienced the ropes and give our young people a grasp on reality. So here today, we are inexperienced. We are very young. We are simple-minded. We are now learning the ways of life. Solomon is saying that to teach the inexperienced the ropes, and then the young, to give the young what? A grasp on reality. Can you imagine? That means the young usually don't have a grasp on reality. We live very fantastically, we have very wild dreams and imaginations, but we don't really see things for what they are. It says there's still something in this for seasoned men and women. That means the book of Proverbs primarily is for the young, but there's something in it for people who are older. Still a thing or two for the experienced to learn. Fresh wisdom to probe and penetrate. The rhymes and reasons of wise men and women. So let's take this as a foundation of our teachings for today. The ages of life. So each and every stage of life, like I said, it's like life is like a school, right? Life is a school, actually. And each and every stage of life has a purpose. It has things that mark or characterize it. Just like, let me give you an example. When you're in class 1 and someone is in class 5, there are certain expectations that you expect from someone in class 5. If someone is in class 1, a person cannot do long division, you say, okay, they are now beginning, they cannot do it. But someone in class 5 cannot do long division, there's a problem. You should be able to question the person. That's how life is like. There are expectations at every age that you find yourself. So you see, I'm going to now mention some things that I expected at a particular age group that you should be able to do. When we go even childhood, let's look at a baby. You know, when a baby is 3 months old or 6 months old or 9 months, you're expecting some things. A baby who is 9 months and cannot even crawl, there's a problem somewhere. It's not normal. Baby 9 months, the only thing they can do is lie on their back. So there's an expectation. So the same way, life is also like a school, like class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5. But it's very possible that someone can be in class 5 and the person doesn't know how to read. I'm sure you've met some people like that. Even people in GSS, and reading is very difficult for them. Is it normal? Is it supposed to be so? No, at GSS, you expected that at least your reading there, you should read your reading. Your mathematics, your addition, subtraction should be good enough. But there's somebody in GSS who cannot do multiplication. As soon as they give them 22 times 5, and they are now sitting down, they don't even know where to put it and where to calculate their things. So at age 10, you have a child, very, very extremely mobile, just moving up and down. You know how children are. But their space or their sphere is very limited. They cannot go far. They are limited in where they can go, in terms of their thinking, their directionality, and just maybe when you're an adult 30 years, you can tell, so they are going to a crowd. A child doesn't think in that direction. They are just limited. They'll be walking around the house and spoiling things because they are now learning. And at that stage, unnecessary things have a great effect on the child. Things that you, as an adult, like you'll be seeing them playing with certain things and thinking in certain spoiling things. You remember when we were children, you go and pick something and just you are trying to experiment to learn something about it. Every time they come home, something has spoiled. But at that stage, if you get great guidance and get people who are actually guiding you and training you, you should be able to make great progress even at that stage. At 20 upward, that's the time that your sexuality is at its peak. All your mind or majority of your mind is all about feelings issue. Oh, I like this girl, this, and this guy, this, and this, my. That's at that particular stage. By the time you are 30 there going, it goes down a little bit, there's a slight dip. You'll start understanding better. But between 20 and 30 there is at its peak. 30 there, you are now more full of energy, you are more daring. You want to try things, you want to achieve, that's when you see young men. I'm sure, just put your eyes on the young men and women at that age. You are trying to now build yourself up, get something. I think you have some of them here. So if somebody's in their 30s and you are not seeing that kind of driving, they are behaving like a 20s person, they say, oh, class 3 now, so you're not this year class 2 me. So there are expectations at every stage of life. At that stage, you are more challenging, you are able to take some risk, very pugnacious. Then you move from there to your 40s. After then, you've learned quite a number of lessons in life. You've already moved through your teens, you've moved through your 20s, you've moved through your 30s, you're now in your 40s. You've gained a lot of experience and you've gained extension. You are more frugal. If in your 20s and your 30s you were wasteful, by the time you are 40, you are expected to be very frugal. You don't waste. When you're in your 20s and especially in early 30s, you are very likely to be playing around. That's it. You are caring about clothing and all manner of unnecessary things, the latest thing in town. By the time somebody is 40, they are not thinking about those things so much. They are more frugal and they are trying to save, they are trying to get things done. They favor what is useful, they don't use useless things. They are more focused on useful things, how to make things. So I'm saying that youthful and useful. Because the youthful stage is a stage that if you don't take care, it's youthful and useful is like almost like a paradox. Because youthful stage, most of the time youth are very prone not to be useful, to waste, and to waste their time, their energy with unnecessary things. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be wait till you are 40 plus before you start becoming useful and continuing to be useful. As at that stage, they are more independent. Life has taught them what is necessary for them to know, and they've seen what is necessary in life and what is not necessary. By the time you reach your 50s, if I forgive most of your contemporaries, at that stage you'll be hearing a lot of your people or your colleagues in school, oh, this person is dead, oh! And you can feel yourself superior to the new generation. After then, you can feel that, look at these children. That you see the 50 plus, these children of today, that's how they feel more superior because they've seen it all. But when you're a youth, you think you know. No, I don't know anything. They've seen it. But yet at that stage, they are still young enough to be enjoying their strength. Yet they are rich in experience and knowledge. And they feel very authoritative and they're able to be in control of their environments because of their experience and their age. At 60, you are now growing older, you are not as sharp and fast and quick like you used to be. So at that stage of 60 there, your weight is like lead. You know lead is very heavy, it's a heavy metal. So your weight is like lead, you are more dull and slower. So this is like a classroom issue and like the expectations in the various classes. So like I said earlier on, life is like a school. And these are some animal depictions of the various ages. I will not talk so much about that. The ages of life. In childhood, you don't have much to think about. It's a stage or a time to sleep and play. It's a time to learn, to sleep and to play. At that time, the reason why I usually look back into our childhood with so much, like wow, I remember when we were children. And it's like a golden age. Meanwhile, the funny thing about childhood is that during that stage, that's the time that you are most limited because you are banned from doing a lot of things. You cannot do this. And when you're a child, you are almost always like when you now grow up, and you always look back at your childhood and you start wishing somehow the golden age of childhood. Why? Because during childhood, we have limited relations. and we have very few wants in this life. So because we don't have so many relations, you know what? Now you are an adult, so you know how relationships can be very difficult. I'm not talking about relationship, female, males. I'm talking about generally. You go to work, your boss is difficult. You go somewhere, people are difficult to deal with. So all those things are the things that make you miss childhood. When you're a child, don't think about those things. Then also your wants. Now, when you're a child, you just wake up and you're looking for your mother in the kitchen. You're looking for the food which is available. But now you don't think that way anymore. No, you now have a lot of wants. Your wants have now increased. You are thinking about getting your own apartment, getting your own car, finishing school. So all those things are weights on your mind that makes adulthood, like they always say, like that kind of thing. When you are children, when they tell you that you are, it's somehow a little bit scary, but at the same time, like what are you put on? You cannot really understand because so childhood becomes like a golden age for us. But when we reach our youth, then we become very, very thirsty. It's like we are in an endless pursuit, never satisfied pursuit for happiness. Youth is always seeking pleasure. We are looking for parties to go to. We are wishing to buy things, to get our own place, to get this for ourselves and all that. And sometimes if you don't take care, those things can weigh upon you to the extent that you don't even enjoy life. So as a youth here, all I want to tell you is that relax. You have to relax. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. Youth, relax. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be daring or you shouldn't be focused or you shouldn't have dreams. No, you should. But at least relax small and enjoy your life for enjoying sake. Because sometimes as a youth, your mind will be thinking about so many things, especially when you're in your late 20s, 30s. So when would I get this? I have to get this. The thing that you every time, and you're in a never endless, never satisfied pursuit of happiness. When you are youth and when you are young, time seems to go at a slower pace. When you grow older, things will change. You see that time seems to be so much, like so quick, like so soon the day has ended. It will be surprising you, like the days will just be flowing fast, quickly. By the time you realize today has ended, you realize that I'm sure that some of you are now listening, but you even get more and more when you are growing much older. When you're in your 40s and 50s, the days will seem even shorter. It's like the same way. I don't know if you know the seasons of life, the seasons of life, the earth. You know, we have spring and autumn, right? During the spring, the day is longer and the night is shorter. And spring always comes before autumn. But during the autumn, it's the other way around. The days are shorter and the nights are longer. It's just the same way. Just like in the spring of the seasons, or in the seasons of life, the same way too. When it comes to life itself, life is like in seasons. So we have our summer when we are wild and free, our spring when we are now springing up, right? Then we have the summer of life when you are wild and free, like all of us are, almost all of us are now. Then you go into the autumn when you are now going down. The weather is getting colder and chilly, but the weather is not that bad. Then after that, you move downward into the winter of your life. So it's like that. Usually as you are going down, the days are getting shorter. The days are getting shorter and the nights longer. So as it stands now, sometimes you feel like you have so much time in front of you or before you. Why? Because of that mentality. You've not lived so much life, so you think there's so much to go. But it's a very dangerous thing. You see, when it comes to the issue of the youth and why we need this call and wake up call as youth, the thing is that it's like you are climbing a mountain which goes like this and comes down like that, a dumbbell shaped mountain. When you're on this side, this is the side of life. You are very, very much excited, everything is going well. But at the other end, there is death. As you are here now, you don't think about death. You are pursuing pleasure, you are pursuing excitement, you want to make it. And you pack your life, like, oh, I want to build this, I want to do this. As if like life will never end. That's how you pack your life. As if like every day will be there, like it will be continuous like that. But when you reach a peak of the mountain, that's when you reach the middle of your ages. And now you start seeing the depth, that there's depth down there. So usually when you are climbing at this side of the hill, you go up this way, you don't know what's on the other side. When you reach at the top of it, before you now start seeing down there, And that's the time that it starts marching down. You now see, hey, I'm going to be dying though. But you're seeing it down there. And you have to now, you cannot go back. Life, you don't go backwards, you go forward. Forward never, backwards never. So you are going down, now you are going downwards, and you be like a criminal. Listen to my illustration. On his way to trial. You know definitely that there's going to be trial. There's going to be accounts for you to give. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you're now moving down, seeing the inevitable. Because when you are climbing on this side, because the other side is like it's steep, you don't see that side. But when you reach a particular age, all of a sudden it dawns on you, you start seeing it gradually. But then you cannot go back. And that's why the youthful stage is a very, very critical stage in your life that you have to really do and meet the purpose of your youth. And I was saying, you reach that stage, you be like a criminal who is walking down to trial. And you know the mentality of the criminal going down to trial. Let's say that you've been stealing, you've stolen, you've done all the bad things, armed robbery, and the day comes of judgment, and now the police has caught you, your hands out your back, they are going to the. You now be thinking, what will happen to me when I go to prison? So that way now you know that there's going to be judgment. Every human being has a subconscious mentality or sensation that there's after life there's something, like there's this judgment that what have I done with my life? It will dawn on you. Now it hasn't dawned on you, it's not dawn on you now. But when you reach the top, from the 40 there going, as you reach the peak, and now descend, you know, if you divide life into two halves, there's this half and that one. Then you now start seeing, you now see the inevitable. For now, death seems to be so far away from you, like you never die. But when you reach there, then you now start seeing the other side of life, it dawns on you, and it can be a very painful period in life. You see, sometimes when you are a youth and people are doing some things and your parents or your guidance are telling you don't do this, and you feel like you are losing out of something. You feel like, for now you might feel that way, but a time is coming when you start moving down the other side of the lane. Some of the things that you are doing that you thought you were chilling, you start now, you be like a criminal. You know when a criminal is stealing there or chilling, but now when you get to the trial room, then everything starts flashing back and you see the consequence of your actions. Are you getting the picture I'm trying to create? You start now seeing that, hey, listen, I shouldn't have done this crowd. Why did he mess up that way? Are you getting the criminal now? Everything starts flashing to you. Hey, I shouldn't have done this. Why did I do this? I could have done this better. The criminal now is seeing the imminent judgment that is coming. So a time is coming in your life. If you don't live this part of your life very well, if the criminal, if you know you are innocent, or let's even genuinely, and you know you've done the right thing, when you reach that particular stage, when you are looking back at the previous part of your life, you know sometimes when you see people and they've grown, let me give you an example, and they've grown and past a certain age, when they are young, when they are in their 20s and they were fooling, and then they announce, now they might seem like everything is alright with them. They might seem as if, oh, they are happy. Oh, it's after all this life, whether you do good or you do bad, guys, okay. You don't know. They are now going to stay. They might not tell you, but whatever you do in the first half of your life, the second half of your life, you reflect on it. You cannot live any. That's what I'm saying. For now, you might envy some people, but the second half of life always reveals itself. You always remember the messes up you did. It's really like you are going down a steep. You say, I should have done this. Why didn't I do this? Why did I do this? You'll be asking yourself those questions. That's the second half. And you know it will never leave you to torment you. But unfortunately, when you're on this side of the hill, you don't appreciate the other side. But if you are going to grow very old and you're not going to die, it's not coming today or tomorrow, then definitely if you pass your 40s, you're 35, 40, they're going, you have a reflection, a flashback, and to haunt you. In life, everything has consequences. Don't think that, oh, I can do this and get away with it after all. What? Before I move on, this statement comes in. The leading events in our life often come in quiet. That's the nature of youth. You know, when you're a youth, you're expecting that, oh, well, I'll be great. And you're thinking that the things that will come, the great moments that will come in your life, or the days that doors will open for you will be very eventful. There will be beating of drums and to be a wonderful day. And that day, the sun will shine. Like you're thinking of that. No. What I want you to understand is that the special moments in your life, the most important and key moments in your life, they don't come in through the front gate. They come in through the side gates. And that's why you have to be very, very mindful. I'm sure that some of you are now, maybe you are now a little bit, how do you even say it in the person? Or you understand some of the things I'm saying. Most of the key moments in your life, they don't come on days that may be the happiest day in your life. No. They don't come through maybe some extraordinary scenario. No. They come in through the back door silently. And that's why in life you always have to be mindful. You go somewhere, then you'll be talking to people anyhow, behaving like that, because you think that the person will help you come in the you are very fantastic. That's why the Bible Solomon said that for you to learn the realities of life. You are very fantastic. You think that the day the president will come and park his car, he will come and knock at your door. That's how we think. That's the fantastic. But no, it will come to a very, maybe somebody is going to buy something from you at the store. Your mother says, I'm coming. And you say, oh, just sit at the store for me, I'm coming. That's the day that somebody might help you and you miss it out. You miss it. The special and the leading events and the leading persons and the people who make impacts in our life, they rarely come flamboyant. That is one of the mistakes that you make, and that's one thing that you come to realization of when you are growing much older. You start reflecting on life. All the special things and the people, the key moments of your life, they came in very silently. Like I said, I want to divide your life into two. Look at one side, maybe after around 40 years or 35, 37 years. Look at the other side, beyond that until you are into your 70s or until very old age. It's like a piece of embroidery. You know what embroidery is? You know what embroidery is? I think all of us know what embroidery is. I think someone is wearing an embroidery, right? It's an embroidery, right? When you look at a piece of embroidery, and you're looking at this side of it, it looks so colorful and beautiful. It looks so promising. But it has two sides. When you look at the other side of the embroidery, you get to understand the right side. So you see, the right side is where we are seeing. The other side, you don't see that side. But until you see the other side, you don't understand the front side. Because the other side gives you information about the front side. You come to understand why the colors blended so well at the front by looking at the back of the embroidery. That's how life is like. In the first stage of your life, you see life like, oh wow, we are growing. But it's only at the second stage of your life that you now start reflecting and start understanding the things that happen to you and why they happen to you. And that is why it's very key. Youth, or like it says, a manual for living, right? A manual for living. If you live your youthful stage carelessly, what do I mean by carelessly? Carelessly is not maybe you wake up and you are, no. What I'm saying carelessly means that you don't live by any principle. Wake up, eat, go to work and come back without it having, if I should ask you right now, you sitting there right now, that what is your principle for living as a youth? And you cannot really tell me and point finger at it, that's you're living your life carelessly. That's what I mean by carelessly. That's when you are driving carelessly on the road. No, that's carelessly. That's what I say, most of us are living carelessly. What will happen is that by the time you reach your second half of life, you are now seeing, you've gone around and you're now seeing the other side of the embroidery. And it's now unfortunately, the word is unfortunately, that you now can start understanding what you should have done at this side. Because it is now giving you the details of why this side looks so bright. And that is why as youth we have to be accountable. And for us not to live a careless life, we have to be accountable for our lives. Lack of accountability is a leading cause of poverty. Yeah. Nothing just happens. No matter whether you are born in a very poor background or a rich background or whatever. If you're not accountable for your life, no sense of urgency, no sense of direction, then what you are trying to tell me is that you want to be poor, you want to be miserable, you don't want to really be happy in this life. So, for you to be accountable for your life, you need to take certain key steps. You need somebody to direct you. You need mentors. How many of us have mentors? You think, I'm sure that we've heard of those things again and again. We take it for granted, because I like, I can live, it's okay. That's the pride of youth. You need it. It's not that you might need it or you may need it, or you need it. Otherwise, it's very, very likely that you are going to live a very careless life. And I cannot promise you so many things, but I can promise you one thing. If you live a careless life, when you reach a second stage of your life, you regret it. It will be like an endless torment. For now, you might not really, but I can promise you that if by the time you live your careless life and you don't really take hold of your life, you don't take advantage of your youth, your strength, your vigor, your time, the time that you have, the energy that you have, the life that you used to do something. and you think that, oh, let's leave and let's leave, like we are going after all this. When you reach the second half of your life, you regret it. Like I was saying earlier on, usually at the first part of your life, you might think the world is abandoning you if you are trying to live right. You understand what I'm saying? If you are doing the right thing, you are doing all the correct things, you can see your friends, they are talking about, oh, me, I want to do this. Oh, they are talking about all manner of ungodly things. And you feel as if you are being left out. Don't worry. In the second part of your life, you actually realize that you were not abandoned, you escaped. You understand what I'm trying to say? Usually, the first half of your life, when you are fooling, you think that you belong, but you're actually caught in the trap. It's only the second part of your life that you actually realize that you were not rejected by the world, you actually escaped it. These things are very important for us to understand as youth. You don't appreciate them when you are young. We don't. Because as it stands now, it's very easy for you to be caught up in it. That, oh, you've been abandoned, you are not enjoying life, you don't belong, like you don't know what's up. Oh, you don't know what's up. But unfortunately, because you realize that you didn't know what's up, the people thought they knew, you start realizing that they were caught in the trap. So don't ever feel envious, like the Bible says, of the evil. Don't ever feel as if like you don't belong or you are loose. You are not missing out on anything. Live the right life, do the right thing. The second part of your life, you enjoy it, because all the unnecessary and nonsense guilt and torment, I said it's not even guilt, it's more than, it's guilt and torment. If you mess up with it and you fool around other things, in the outside, I'm going to tell you something, the adults that you are seeing, who when they were much younger, when they were far younger, you saw them fooling around, doing all manner of things, wasting their life. Today, of course, in life, when we move out, we are going out, everybody is trying to form like they are okay. Right? Nobody moves out in 20. No. Everybody makes their face like, oh, what's up? That's why we ask, oh, how are you? I'm fine. Even if it's not fine, I'm fine. It's like an automated response that we give. So you might see them and think that, oh, you might look at them from the exterior and think that, oh, everything's not. Anybody who messed up with that, they always regret in the second part of their life. It has consequences. You cannot, like Jesus said, you cannot sow. What you sow is what you reap. It's a principle in life. You cannot sow mango tree and you're expecting to reaping pawpaw. No, it doesn't happen anywhere. It has never happened, it will never happen. So the world didn't abandon you. You escaped it. Don't give up in doing the right thing. Keep on holding on. It's here for this message for someone. Okay, my time is almost up. So I think I have to be careful. Otherwise, I will not finish it. So, life is spiritual. I think we have to also look at the spiritual dimension of life, apart from looking at the physical dimension of life. Okay. So, we look at these three things. I think this will be a very good prep for my second talk. So, I'll talk about this a little bit. So, you see, in this life, we are triune beings, right? We have a heart, a mind, and a spirit. And I want to bring this concept to bear so you understand yourself better. They are like three different personalities that are always constantly working with you. They are working with you. They are like three voices that you always hear in your every time when you are moving around. And all of them, you should be able to identify them for who they are. When we talk about our hearts, we are talking about emotions, feelings, and how we feel about a thing, right? And our desires. And it's a very powerful force. So the thing about the heart is that I want you to see them as three people. As you are moving, all of them are working with you. They are inside you, but they are working with you. Just take them as three people. I want you to picture that they are like three voices speaking to you. Each and every decision you make in this life. The mind is always reasoning. When you see something, you are thinking in your mind, and it's always about asking you a question. You say, oh, let me give you a scenario. I think a scenario will be better. So, like I said, it's a daily work thing with them. In the scenario is like this. Your mother has sent you that, oh, Sammy, go and buy me a crate of eggs here, giving you 20 cedis. Or let me make it a bigger amount of money so it will make more sense. Maybe your mother has given you some money to go and buy a refrigerator for 1,000 cedis. Go and buy this refrigerator for me from town. Say, okay, I'm going. On your way going, you're working, and you saw a very nice phone. Maybe an iPhone. The person says, I'll give it to you cheap. This one, I'll give it to you 1,000 cedis. 7. Okay. Then, after then, the three voices come into the picture. Your heart will be speaking to you. The heart is always about what it wants. It doesn't care. That's how the heart is. So it will be telling you, buy the phone. That's what your heart will be telling you. Buy the phone, because it's always seeking pleasure. That's how the heart is like. It doesn't care. That's why the Bible says the heart is deceitful beyond all things. Who can understand this? The book of Jeremiah. So it's like, buy the phone, and your mind is speaking to you logically. The mind is always logical. Say, this phone, when you buy it and you go home, what will you tell your mother? That's your mind speaking to you. It will give you a reason why you should buy it, you didn't buy. But the mind is limited. Your mind is always deals based on what you know and your level of understanding. Your mind cannot deal with what it doesn't. It deals with the material that it has. Then your spirit man also speaking to you. And the thing about the spirit man is that the spirit man is a very better indicator. Unfortunately, for most of us, our spirit men are dead, or they are very, very faint. Let me give you a scenario. So what I'm saying is that they have 3 different behaviors. The heart is always wanting to do. So let me give you an example. If who will come for me to use if I'm the heart speaking to him, he is coming and he wants to buy the phone. I'll be like, buy the phone and buy. That's how the heart speaks. It pushes you buy. Like when somebody annoys you, because your heart doesn't sit down. You say, unlike the mind will be talking to you. The mind will always go closer to you and be talking to you. Don't slap this guy. Dude, if the school they'll suspend you. That's what your mind will be telling you. But it doesn't force you. But the heart always the heart will push you. It will always, because it wants its satisfaction. It deals with ego and pride. It wants its satisfaction. It wants to show make a point, prove a point. But the mind will always give you reason. But your spirit man will always give you a faint reflection of what will happen. But unfortunately, most of us, if you are very much in touch with your spirit, you will always be able to discern. That's why I say a discerning spirit. Because the spirit deals with truth and reality. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please consider. So there are 3 different personalities. They are moving with you constantly. Unfortunately, in your youthful stage, your heart is the most dominant one. You can represent the youthful stage with the heart of a person. By the time you're in your middle ages, your mind will now start taking precedence more than your heart. By the time you reach that's why you are the older people, they are more discerning. They can tell you things that this will happen. That's why then they are representative more about the spirit than the heart and the mind. So the heart is seeking satisfaction, the mind wants reason, and the spirit of a man is always seeking truth. But we are spirits. And everything that happens in this life is spiritual. My time is almost up, so I'll not listen. So I'll just say that it's like a program, right? Most of the experiences that we are having in our lives, they are like programs. Your physical world is like this one, the hardware, and your spiritual world is like the software. Let me give you a better example for you to understand what I'm saying. It's like this. As you're sitting here now, you can see the lights are on. When you switch it on, it comes through. When you switch it off, it goes off. But when you come to this room and you come and switch on the light, and the light doesn't come on, what comes into your mind? It's the lighthouse, right? In life, we take a lot of things for granted. We are so used to, we just come and the light is on. But the light is not coming from here, it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere, or even water, tap water. When you come and you open the tap, you're expecting water to flow. But you can open the tap and the water will not flow. And you ask yourself, that what's the problem? Is it that Ghana water has stopped the pipe from flowing? Or perhaps a pipe has broken somewhere, and that means there's a pipe or a pathway leading to the physical. That's the spiritual. I don't even understand what I'm saying. So just like the electricity company of Ghana that you switch it on, it's not coming from a very far away source, but it's connected a long way before it got here, or the water. In the same way, to the things that you're experiencing in your life, it has a connection. The connection doesn't really show you directly as you're sitting here now. But most of the struggles you are going on, that is going on in your life now, are spiritual things. You are trying to switch on the light of your life, it's not coming on. I haven't checked now. I hope you understand. There's something that's happening spiritually, connected. And so you realize that although we can appreciate the light here, the more important one is the wires that coming from wherever the wire is coming from, where the cause is more important than what we are seeing here. That's the truth. So that's why when it comes to the spirit life, you don't joke with it. Because no matter how good the bulbs are, go and buy new bulbs and put them in. This light off, you not switch on. Doesn't matter how good you look or the way you might think you are or whatever. Life is spiritual. And until you deal with the spiritual aspect of things, sometimes you have to pay. You have to pay your water bills, otherwise somebody. So there are certain things you have to pay in life. Otherwise you don't get it. There are things that cost. Others who are there, you have to protect them in this life. Otherwise you lose them. So we are coming to a culmination. Each day is a little life. So you see, God is so marvelous and wonderful. He has made life in such a way that each day of our lives reminds us that we will die. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Each day of your life reminds you that you will die one day. So let's read this one. So I want to ask you a question. What have you achieved last week? You, as you are sitting here now, I want you to ask yourself, what have you achieved? What can you point your finger at that, oh, in the last week, this is what I can see about the meaningful thing or the impact I've made in this world? Okay, last week, nothing. Last month. That one too. Last year. Over the last decade. So it's very, very easy for you to be missing out and just be moving along without actually making any impact in life. So I'm saying that you should always remember as the days go on and on that each day is like a little life. The morning is a youth of the day, when everything is bright, fresh, and easy of attainment. So in the morning, you wake up, you are fresh. Are you not fresh in the morning? You know that you are very active as at then. You can, everything is easy to attain when you're in the morning. Even when you go to school, the first lessons are the ones that you can actually catch the most. When the classes start, as time goes on, afternoon time, you want to go home. That's how life is. So it says the morning is the use of the day. When everything is bright, fresh, and easy of attainment, we feel strong then, and all our faculties are completely at our disposal. Do not shorten the morning by getting up late, or waste it in unworthy occupations or in talk. Look upon it as the quintessence or as the ideal part of life, as to a certain extent sacred. Evening is like old age. We are languid, talkative, silly. Each day is a little life. Every waking and rising a little birth, every fresh morning a little youth, every going to rest and sleep a little death. So God has made a day in such a that each and every day you wake up tells you that there's a difference between youth, middle ages, and then the time will die that you will die. Because you see, in the morning you are very sharp, like your mind is sharp. You can actually grasp a lot of things. You can actually do a lot of things. In the afternoon, the sun is very bright up there. You can still be active. But as night starts falling, your disposition. That's why you say that the old people like talking too much. You become talkative. You become very dull and lazy. You become silly in one way or the other. So each day is a little life. Each and every waking up is a little birth. So I want you to, let's say that life is 70 years, right? The average life or what God gave is 70 years. So divide the 70 years into portions. Okay? Divide the 70 years of your life into portions. Take it that every 1 hour is 70 divided by 24 is what? About 2 point something. Or is it 3 point something? It's 2 point something, or like 2.11. Yeah, so let's take that each and every 1 hour is 2 point something. Well, let's say that it's 3 years of your life. Let's say that it's 3 years because we're all 72 there. So each 1 hour is 3 years. So that means at 12 o'clock midnight is the time the day starts. As at that time, between 12 o'clock to morning 6 is the early stage of your life. As at then, not much is expected of you. We are supposed to rest and gather momentum. That's why usually you are playing around. So it's just a beginning part of your life. So that's why like as a child, it's a time to sleep. That's why you see children, babies. They will wake up and go and eat. They are gathering energy. The sleep I'm talking about here is not necessarily physical sleep, but some kind of mental sleep. Like see, when you're a child, you don't think about it. What will I do? When would I get my? No, you don't think about that then. Because you see, between 12 o'clock and 6 is how many years? 18 years. If you are multiplying by 3. That first stage of your life, by 6 o'clock or even before 6 o'clock, the earlier you wake up, the better. You understand what I'm saying? So if it's 6 o'clock and you're not waking up, that is as soon as it's not 6 o'clock, you're around 18 years and you're not started waking up, that means you are sleeping beyond your time. You are 24 years, calculate it. What's the time? calculate. I would say, so 3 times 8 is what? We are 24 years, 8 o'clock. We are still sleeping. Is it normal? That's how life is like. I want you to imagine that. So each day reminds you that you die one day, but you don't even take note of it. We just sleep our life out. So you cannot be 18 years and you are joking. Even 15 years, you cannot be joking. People, you have to wake up early. You have to wake up very early. Because you see, at that particular young age, when it's morning, you are more sharp, your faculties at your disposal, you can learn. When you are 30 something plus, the way you could have learned in university, then you're now going to do your master. It's not easy to do your master when you are 30 plus. Like you are doing new, like you have something to think about. But when you're in your 20s, this thing is easy because your mind is sharp. You have the time, you can learn and combine and all that. That's how life is like. Okay, there's one part I want to really talk about. So it's about time that as youth we wake up. We've slept for too long, have we not? We've slept for too long. This is not just a talk that you go home and go and forget about it. But you take active steps, get a mentor, be accountable for your life. Take a book and be writing, account for your life, even your money. The money you spend, I want you when you go home and look for a small book or anything. Any money you spend, look at all your money you have in your pocket. Write the amount there, or I have thousands. If you buy even pure water one, write the 50-20%. Yes, it helps you to save money. Yeah, there, Chum, comes as it goes, or pay as it goes, right? Hey, you don't get anywhere. We calculate it every day. You be surprising if new money comes, you add it to your income part, add it. Like daily, you don't miss out in anything. Help you because every day you be aware of how you are wasting money. You come and see the things that you usually waste time on them. You see them. Like the last instance, if I ask you that, what do you even buy? You cannot tell me. Because you are living on the pay as you go account. You cannot live your life that way. Don't wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. When someone will say you are very busy, that most of us, you don't even wake up. 12 o'clock, you are so sleeping. Hey! But it's possible. Some people can sleep their whole life away. I want you to create a sense of urgency and desperation in this life. Taking into account that your life is like a day. And one day, surely, night will come when you cannot do anything anymore. Can you wake up at night at 8 o'clock in the evening and say you are going to MCN to go and do something there? It doesn't make sense. They've closed. There's a part of life that every store will close. You don't have any access to anything anymore. You cannot do it anymore. So this is the time that is bright day. 8 in the morning. The stores are open fresh. You go there more. You see that is life. You have to create a sense of urgency. You are your own worst enemy, not anybody. Every day writing on Facebook, haters, no, it's you. You're always causing more trouble to yourself. You waste precious time dreaming of future instead of engaging in the present. It's very typical of you. That's when we're babies or children. You go inside and hey, this is my car. the red one, I like that one. That kind of child, and we start growing and start realizing, hey, life is not easy now. But still, if you don't take care, you start living like that childlike and childhood mentality of dreaming. Oh, Charlie, next child will build this kind of child will buy this kind of car, Sam. You think that's a dream? If you buy this mouth, some of us have cars that way. It's not mouth. It's a practical thing. You have to be accountable. So instead of engaging in the present, since nothing, because you see, we live a life that nothing seems urgent because, well, like I said earlier on, we are now climbing the top. It's not reach the top to see. You see, for now, you don't see that you die. But I'm telling you, sure, you reach a particular age that you see that you die. Because it's like a hill like this. When you reach the top before you can see what's on the other side. When you are on this side, you don't see the other side. You don't see it now, but you see it. A day will come that you see that you will die. And because you don't see that you die, you don't have any sense of urgency. That's why, let me give you an example. In class school, most of the time, what brings that sense of urgency is when we realize that, hey, for instance, when you go to write examination, they say, next week is examination. That's when you actually see, or you are given a project and you see that this project, if I don't finish, you see that that's the time that you become very serious. You can do a lot of things, but you always have to wait. The question is, you always have to wait for a sense of urgency to be forced upon you before you wake up. And you know that you have to. So you are waiting till they say examination is next week before you go and pick up your books and put them down. You learn everything within 3 days. Don't live a life that way. So you have to create that sense of urgency. You have to put pressure on yourself. You put yourself in situations where you have too much at stake to waste your time and resources. If you cannot afford to lose, you won't lose. If you cannot afford to use, you won't. You have to cut your ties with the past. Enter unknown territory where you must depend on your own wits and energy. You see, some of us, our problem is that we are too comfortable because we have clutches to hold on to. So we are comfortable. I don't think I'm coming. You say, oh, you know, as it stands now, if you don't have any place to sleep, by this time you find a place to sleep. Because you know, there's a bed somewhere I can go and sleep. You think every day you go and sleep there. So you see, you don't have any sense of urgency. By the day that a bit too much feel, you see that you now become more aware that you want a building or a place to put your head. But you have to wait till then. You have to create it. If you mean that something, you have to cut certain ties. You see, because the reason we are listening, because our uncle has promised that when you finish school, I'll send you to this in there. So because I realized, so my uncle will send me to this when I finish school. My uncle will send me. Sometimes you have to cut ties in order for you to create that sense of urgency. It's like putting yourself in the death ground. You know, in the past, military, some army generals, what they will do is that in order to make sure that their men fight very well, they will essentially put their men in a very, very weak position. For instance, they are going to fight, they will put their men near the river, so their back is facing the river, or they put their men, their own army, at the top of the cliff. That's the time people fight. Or you intentionally put your people there, and it's a matter of what? Life and death. Because of that, the people fight extra when it's a matter of what? Life and death. So because their back is facing the end of it, you know that if you don't fight, you are forward ever, backwards ever. If you move backwards, you are going to fall down. So that day is like that particular moment or that particular scenario creates a sense of urgency, like it's urgent. We are desperate to win in life. Most of us, we are so much sleeping that we don't have that sense of urgency there. So we are just living our life 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12, now we are so under. Hey! That's how most of us are living. It's about time that you became accountable for your life and you yourself create that sense of urgency. This is mean that you have to burn some things in your life that's actually are clutches that you are holding on to. Maybe your mother also has been giving you some amount of money. Maybe your mother gives you things, you are not working yet. Tell your mother, Mom, stop giving that thing, and you see. Whether you don't look for job. Because now you are sitting home, 1 year has passed, 2 years, you are still sleeping home, 3 years. That's because you have, and the year is passing. But tell your mother, money, I beg you. From next week, stop giving that thing. The way you go to find job, you find it, you stop your order. But now because you know you are not serious. That's the problem that most of us have. We don't have this sense of desperation and urgency. We don't. That's the problem that majority of us have. It's about time that you yourself, you have to something create that sense of urgency and desperation. People have promised you things that you are like clutches you are holding on to. There was a man who sent his army to a particular land, they would conquer the land. When they got there, the people became so comfortable that they were now like relaxed because you see, they got there, they lived there for a number of months, and their ships they moved from by sea, so they had packed their ships on the shore. So every time when you look at the ship, they're like, oh, if anything happens, we'll go home, and we were just playing around. The man woke up one and bent all the ships. Come and see. You know, like that, if you don't work hard, you cannot build new ships. And everybody became urgent. Sometimes you have to bend your ships. To do that thing, when you sometimes you have to actually put yourself in the position, the test ground, where your back is against the wall. Your back is at the edge of the cliff, and you will fall, you will die. It's either you move forward or you die. Some of us have to stop taking money from our parents. I know you don't have work, right? If you actually commit from next month and not taking money from our parents, you start preparing on how what will mean that you have to work. And you find something to do. If you sell pure, and that is how you. But if you have a clutch to hold on to, you will not be serious in this life. That's how we are naturally. That's how we are. We are very. When we find ourselves in a comfortable place, we like place of comfort. That's why we don't like change. But young man, young woman, this is your time. This is your time. I cannot say everything. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 to 11. A lesson from the ants. You lazy fool. See, it's not me, it's the Bible. The Bible is talking to someone here. If you fall in this particular direction, this is how the Bible says you're a fool. Not just a fool, a lazy fool. Look at it, says you can even ant a smaller, I say look at it. Watch it closely and let it teach you a thing or two. Nobody has to tell it what to do. Nobody. All summer He stores up food. As harvest, he stockpiles provisions. So how long are you going to laze around doing nothing? Am I talking to someone here? How long before you get out of bed? A nap here, a nap there, a day off here, a day off there. Sit back, take it easy. Do you know what comes next? Just this. You can look forward to a debt-poor life. It's not me who said it. Poverty, your permanent house guest. This is the word of God. Can't give it to God. It's a promise that the Bible is giving you. That poverty, if you don't create that sense of urgency, everything you're waiting for someone, oh, you're born pile. It's not about to buy a ball. Sometimes you have to put yourself in the position that you don't have any way back to succeed. Cut down some ties, cut down some relation. My uncle, cancel your uncle issue. You yourself go and tell your uncle that my uncle, don't help me, okay? If you can help me, go and help you. You see, when you put yourself in that position, you don't have any crush to hold on to. Oh, don't give me money anymore. I will handle my things. You find a way. You'll be shocked. You yourself will be shocked at yourself. Like, is this me? After a band doesn't come 1 day, 2 days, a common to work. You find a way. Your mind will. You find a way. In conclusion, I want to give a few advices. Okay. Be trustworthy. Thanks, sir. Be trustworthy. We live in a life that people are not trustworthy. You see that if you look at the back of your shirt, there are a lot of interesting and powerful virtues there. We are trying to promote and promulgate virtues in the youth. Be trustworthy, honesty, integrity. Let it be a part of your life. In this life, it's as if the better you do, the less you are rewarded. The greater your service, the poorer the reward. The more you are more trickery and you are cunning, the more be trustworthy. It's more likely for you to meet people who will deal with you treacherously, breach promises, and be very deceitful. But that should not be an example to you. That should not be something that will actually teach you to also behave that way as a young Christian man or woman. But it should actually be a warning to you rather than an example. The next thing is that find favor with men of sense. Some of us, we don't connect ourselves with the right people. Find favor with men of sense. If you identify people who you are seeing that they are going the right way, people who find favor with them. Do you know why? One remarkable man, if you're able to get even a feeble yes, if not a strong yes, a feeble or weak yes, okay, from a remarkable man, it's worth more than the applause of 10,000 vulgar people. Connect yourself, be serious about some things. Connect yourself with the right people. Just like you cannot make food out of chaff. You cannot go and pick sawdust and just gather it and put fire inside and put your food on. It's not. You need wood. You need strong wood to. That's the same way too. You cannot make anything out of vulgar people. You cannot really gain much from vulgarity. Locate yourself around people who can impact your life positively. They are friends are same. It's not taking you anywhere. Locate people in your life that can be mentors or who can influence you positively. You should have a number of people around you like that. Identify such people and connect yourself with them. Thirdly, don't be too much of a dove. The Bible tells us that we should be as wise as serpents, as gentle as doves, but wise as serpents. And the Bible in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 16 tells us that do not be too good. Do you understand what it means? Jesus was saying the same thing, that be gentle as doves, but wise as serpents. You see, the thing is that nothing in this world is easier than to deceive a honest man. Do you know why? Listen to this carefully. I don't want you to take it wrongly. Because people who are very honest and they are very sincere, if they are truly so, they expect people not to be deceitful, so they are easily deceived. Because when he's dealing with people, he doesn't on this nice snipper like oh this one is like this, so he doesn't see that. If people are very dishonest, that's always affecting people. Hey Charlie, because for the not even go for. People are actually, that's why they say thief man. It's very painful. There are many people are actually this. That's why Jesus Christ said something that the people of the world are smarter than the people of in the kingdom. And he gave the parable of the servants. A servant who was the wise servant or something, who knew that his master is going to sack him. He started going around, people will come and he says, oh, Matiswa my wife. Or they say, we're coming next week. So they say, Matiswa my next time, we'll shower. He said, this is actually the parable to give an example. So I'm telling you that don't be too foolishly good. The Romans 7 verse 16 tells you that don't be too good. You want to kill yourself. That's what Solomon has told. So be gentle as that. Maintain your virtues, but be smart enough to know that you are not everybody. I want to put, because otherwise you'll be deceived and taken advantage of, and you will lose out on opportunities in this life. God has opened the door for you and see now where you go. You die early and foolishly. I get where I'm coming from. So what I'm saying is that don't be too much of a dove. Because to be deceived is not always due to stupidity. It may arise from sheer goodness. Don't be too good to the extent that your goodness will make you so weak to the extent that it allows people to take advantage of you. That's the message I'm giving you. May God himself explain it further to you in your secret place. Always act as if your acts were sin. If most of us obey this principle and go by it, we will not do a lot of. If you always act as if your acts were sin, you'll be more careful in this life. If you live in this life with the idea and the mind that the walls have ears, and you don't mind people seeing into your thing, that's where I'm coming from, because you don't have much to hide. Even in your secret place, you do the right thing. So always act, even in your thoughts. Imagine and assume that even your thoughts are being listened to, or actually, so every time you're thinking something negative, just imagine or assume that particular thoughts you're thinking in your head, or even the things you think are being played on a tape for all of us to listen to. Would you be able to sit here? And lastly, in one word, be a saint. Virtue is a link of all perfection. You can see some virtues written on the back of your shirt: modesty, honesty, purity, frugality, diligence. Virtue is so beautiful. Virtue basically means good morals, positive principles by which you live. She's so beautiful that she finds favor with both God and man. So if you're someone who is virtuous, you find favor in the eyes of God, and you find favor in the eyes of men who will speak well of you. Virtue is so beautiful to the extent that it makes people lovable when they are living. It also makes people memorable even when they are dead. Develop positive virtues. Some of them are at the back of your shirt. Let it be a guiding principle by which you live, and you find favor in the eyes of God, and as well as in the eyes of men. There are a lot of, I could have broken down a lot of things, but because of our time, my time is out. I have to leave you here. The question and answer time come at the end of everything. So thank you very much, and God bless you.